Coming up on 5 Minute News. UK coronavirus vaccine prompts immune system in early test. Tempers rage in Marathon EU budget summit. And federal agents asked to leave as Portland protests continue. It's Tuesday, July 21. I'm Anthony Davis. Scientists at Oxford University say their experimental coronavirus vaccine has been shown in an early trial to prompt a protective immune response in hundreds of people who got the shot. British researchers first began testing the vaccine in April in about 1,000 people, half of whom got the experimental vaccine. Such early trials are designed to evaluate safety and see what kind of immune response was provoked, but can't tell if the vaccine truly protects. In research published Monday in the journal Lancet, scientists say they found their experimental COVID-19 vaccine produced a dual immune response in people aged 18 to 55 that lasted at least 2 months after they were immunized. Doctors say that neutralizing antibodies are produced, molecules which are key to blocking infection. In addition, the vaccine also causes a reaction in the body's T cells, which help by destroying cells that have been taken over by the virus. The experimental COVID-19 vaccine caused minor side effects like fever, chills and muscle pain more often than in those who got a controlled meningitis vaccine. Larger trials evaluating the vaccine's effectiveness involving about 10,000 people in the UK, as well as participants in South Africa and Brazil, are still underway. Another trial is slated to start in the US soon, aiming to enroll about 30,000 people. The vaccine seemed to produce a comparable level of antibodies to those produced by people who recovered from a COVID-19 infection and hoped that the T-cell response would provide even more protection. Oxford's vaccine is designed to reduce disease and transmission. It uses a harmless virus, a chimpanzee cold virus, engineered so it can't spread, to carry the coronavirus's spike protein into the body, which should trigger an immune response. Oxford University has partnered with drug maker AstraZeneca to produce their vaccine globally, and the company has already committed to making 2 billion doses. Weary European Union leaders expressed cautious optimism yesterday that a deal was in sight on their 4th day of wrangling over an unprecedented €1.85 trillion budget and coronavirus recovery fund, following a weekend of fallouts, flaring tempers and insults. It took an emotional dinner speech by European Council President Charles Michel about leaders not failing their union. What was planned as a 2-day summit, scheduled to end on Saturday, was forced into 2 extra days by deep ideological differences among the 27 leaders. Coronavirus has sent the EU into a tailspin, killing around 135,000 of its citizens and plunging its economy into an estimated contraction of 8.3% this year. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez insisted the adoption of an ambitious plan was required as the health crisis continued to threaten the continent. The bloc's executive has proposed a €750 billion coronavirus fund to be sent as loans and grants to the countries hit hardest by the virus. That comes on top of the 7-year €1 trillion EU budget that leaders had been haggling over for months even before the pandemic. With Emmanuel Macron and Angela Merkel negotiating as the closest of partners, the traditionally powerful Franco-German alliance could not get the quarrelling nations in line. All nations agree in principle that they need to band together, but the 5 richer countries in the north want strict controls on spending, while struggling southern nations like Spain and Italy say those conditions should be kept to a minimum. With unrest continuing, the US federal government is coming under increasing scrutiny for the activities of agents trying to clamp down on protests in Oregon's largest city. Demonstrations that Donald Trump says are led by anarchists and agitators. Protesters outside Portland's US courthouse set a fire in the building's entryway early Monday, part of yet another night of conflict with unidentified federal agents who repeatedly tear-gassed the demonstrators to drive them away. The latest unrest happened as local and state leaders expressed anger with the presence of the federal agents in their masked military-style desert camouflage, saying the city's protests had started to ease just as the federal agents started taking action on the streets of Portland. Authorities over the weekend erected large fences around the building in an effort to keep away the protesters who have been on Portland's streets daily since the police killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis nearly 2 months ago. Portland's mayor said federal officers are not wanted here. "We haven't asked them here. In fact, we want them to leave," Ted Wheeler said. On Friday, Oregon Attorney General Ellen Rosenblum sued Homeland Security and the Marshals Service in federal court, alleging that unidentified federal agents grabbed people from Portland streets without warning or explanation, without a warrant, and without providing any way to determine who is directing this action. Rosenblum said she was seeking a temporary restraining order to immediately stop federal authorities from unlawfully detaining Oregonians. You can subscribe to 5 Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5 Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Visit us online at 5minute.news. 5 Minute News is an independent production covering politics, inequality, health, and climate, delivering unbiased, verified, and truthful world news daily.